Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So check it out. Today we're going to be reviewing the X252 X252 SHUTTLE. Now this looks like the FPV version I got here. I'm hoping it's the FPV version, but this is the new one from XK, and it's kind of like the X251 but better. It's supposed to be full 3D and have 6G mode. It's supposed to have Acro and all that kind of stuff. So if you wanted to fly really sport flying and acrobatic 3D type of flying, this is the one apparently to get. With the X251, you may have seen my review of that one. Apparently XK has kind of taken away the Acro mode on the X251, so this looks like the one to get if you wanted like Acro mode and you did like the X251. So today what we're going to do is unbox this, do a close-up inspection, set it up, take it over to the park, do a park test. I may split this up into two videos. I'm not sure if it takes a long time for the initial inspection and setup. I'll do split it into two videos. And then we're going to go to the park, do a thorough park test with some pros and cons so you can see everything and how it all works. This one does onboard video recording, and you also have the FPV here with 5.8 gigahertz, which would also be able to, if it is 5.8, you should be able to go ahead and connect it to some FPV goggles you might have lying around and also fly FPV with this guy. So that would also be cool. So I'll also be showing that function in the park as long as this is the FPV version. So let's go ahead and unbox this thing. Don't forget, I will have the links down in the description down there below the video of where you can purchase this, the current pricing, and all the full specs on this guy. So don't forget to click that link down there to check that out. Anyways, let's see. Here's the box. It comes in a black or a white version. I'm not sure which one I got, but we'll be checking it out once we open the box up. So there's the other side of the box. This is the black version here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open this thing up. Sorry about the close camera quarters, but I'm on my bench here and I don't have much room. Anyway, there we go. So it looks like this is the white version. Cool. And let's pull this out of the box and check it out. So there's our initial view of it here. It's got these two nice big LEDs on the front. Looks like a decent camera there. Looks like we've got a kind of a wide angle lens here on the camera. We do have some rubber landing feet here on the bottom that are kind of integrated into the bottom there. Really nice and shiny plastic look to it. Feels real durable. We got these 3D propellers. These do look like 3D propellers, so it should be able to hopefully fly upside down as well. We'll be testing all that stuff out. We got our SD card in the front here. Let me just go ahead and pop that out. 4 gigabyte little SD card for onboard recording. And there's our motors. Our propellers are already all connected and hooked up. We got some cooling vents in the top. Anyway, let's pull everything else out of the box here and then we'll get back to looking at this a little more in depth. So we have a charger, and I'm not sure what this thing is. I guess it looks like a battery charger kinda. We'll have to figure out what that is in just a second. Maybe for the FPV stuff. There's a USB micro SD reader to view your video from your computer, and here is a little 5.8 gigahertz antenna. So it looks like this is the FPV version, so that's going to go on top of our FPV screen in just a sec. That's all that's in that top box. Going down to the next level, we have our FPV monitor, and this looks like one of those standard FPV monitor screens. I'm not seeing any protective layer on there, so it's just without that protective plastic. We won't need to take that off. Looks like that could possibly be a channel changing button. I'm seeing a little button here. You may be able to change the channel. We'll check that out in a second. And the antenna is just going to screw right on here. What I'm seeing is there's a little bit of foam stuck in the top of the antenna mount, so make sure you dig that out before you stick that antenna in. We'll be doing that in just a second as well. Got our little charger here. This is a Euro charger, so if you did get the Euro version, you're going to want to have an adapter to plug into US if you are in the US. We got another little bag here with 4 extra propellers. We have a USB plug-in, looks like to charge the FPV screen. I'm looking for a little plug-in. Yep, so on the bottom of the FPV screen, you've got this little plug-in there. There is an on-off switch here. And so that's to charge the FPV screen, and then we have a little screwdriver in the package as well. digging further into the box, it looks like there's only one more peripheral, and that's going to be the controller. So this is a X7 controller, the same looking controller that came with the X251. You have your dial here for changing some of the control settings in the craft, which we'll go over in our flight test. Already has the FPV attachment mounted for the monitor. Looks like it's all mounted up already, ready to go. And that's really basically everything in the box. Not seeing anything else in the box. Oh, looks like almost forgot about the controller manual. That was actually stuck to the top of the box. So here's the manual for the craft. We'll definitely be wanting to go through this to check out all the functions in just a sec. Okay, cool. So that's everything out of the box on the bench here. Then we're just basically screwing on the antenna that comes with it in the box. And you know, you could probably use any kind of antenna you want. They probably match this monopole antenna here to the one in the craft, so I probably wouldn't change this. Just stick with what they give you here for now. If you have a cloverleaf, maybe you could try that just to see if you got better reception. But for right now, I'm just going to stick with this. So there's the FPV screen. It's got this little bracket already on the bottom, and it looks like they made it really easy for us just to easily slide this thing in, and it seems to me like it's just going to kind of snap in like that. So make sure you brace the bottom really tight with your finger and just push as hard as you can, and that thing will pop in and you're ready to go FPV. So you can see how that whole system is really quick and easy to set up. If you did want to take it off, just unscrew these two little thumb screws, separate this, and pull the whole thing off if you didn't want to use the FPV. But for now, I'll be definitely leaving this FPV on there. And that's really it for the setup. Let's go ahead and inspect the craft here a little more in depth. And I'm noticing there's a little piece of plastic in here. That's probably something to do with so the battery is not connected. And look at this. So this is kind of interesting. So it's like a proprietary little battery here, and that piece of plastic was just in between the connectors, so it didn't drain or short out during shipping. So this is very interesting. This is the first from XK I've seen that they have their little slot type of proprietary battery. Some people are going to like this, some people are not going to like this. I don't really see much of a problem with it. But that just means that you're not going to be able to use any old batteries you have laying around. You're going to have to buy one of these or somehow fabricate your own to be able to work with this. I'm sure these won't be very expensive. Check the link in the description of where this stuff can be purchased if you did want to buy some extra batteries, which I would recommend. It's always good to have like 2 or 3 batteries just to, you know, for flying around and stuff. Anyways, it looks like it's pretty simple. This thing just basically slides right in here, and it's turning on right when we're sliding in the battery. So that's how that's working. And I was really confused on what this thing was in the package, but apparently it is the battery charger. So you're just going to basically slide this battery in here just like so, and it clips in there nice and tight. And then you'll be putting this right into the balance connector on the charger. So you can see how I'm just plugging this right into the balance connector on the charger, and then of course you're just plugging this into your wall to charge this battery. So a pretty interesting deal they've come up with, just this little adapter here instead of having a cable. Cool, so something new and fresh from XK. And let's go ahead and just kind of look at this a little more in depth. I'm going to plug it in so we can kind of see the lights here. Let me just kind of set it down so it does its thing. And here are the lights. So we got blue on the bottom front, and we have a nice green on the bottom back. A little bit difficult to see from the front, actually. These lights do not, there's not actually a cup, so they're actually just flush with the bottom. The arms are kind of upwards a little bit, so that will help the visibility of these. Maybe a little harder to see from the front or the back. But from the sides, they're pretty visible. From the front, you know it's facing you because you got these big old LED lights shining at you. But from the back, you won't be able to really see much. So, especially if you're flying at night. I'm not really seeing any shine through on these lights. So you're just kind of seeing it through the bottom here. There's no real shine through on the top. For night flying, you won't be able to see this thing light up really. You know, so that's a little bit of a con right out of the box. But I have to say the fit and finish of this thing is really nice. I'm noticing really good attention to detail. It's a really slick feeling looking thing here. I'm just kind of twisting the arms, and they feel like they're gonna put up with a lot of abuse. And of course we have these propellers here. These should be about 5-inch propellers, they look like, that are just screwed on with these prop nuts here. Anyway, since the quad's on, let's go ahead and just turn on the FPV real quick. I don't have any battery in the controllers, but let's just turn on the FPV and see what we get. So right out of the box, we're seeing that we just turned it on and plugged it in, and we are getting that FPV without dealing with any changing any settings or any signal. So here's the FPV. That's what you can expect. Noticing that there is a little bit of latency. This is not a full-blown pro FPV system, so we're getting a little bit of latency here. You usually get latency anytime you have a camera that you can record to, which this is, just because you have that latency in the circuitry and stuff. But anyway, that's a camera. You can see that's a bit of a wide-angle camera, so that's really good for FPV. It's giving us a nice clear view of everything, and you can see how clear that FPV screen is. Let's just go ahead and check this little button on the back of the FPV monitor real quick. I just want to see if this will change the channel. So I'm going to go ahead and just click this while I have this facing towards us. Yeah, so that's actually changing the channel. So you can see we got fuzzy. Let me see if I can click and hold it. Clicking and hold, it's actually scanning. And there we go. So you can do individual clicks to, go channel to channel, or you can click and hold and it will scan and pick up the best channel that this is putting out. So you'll have that clearest picture. So I noticed that the top is getting a little hot. This is probably where the video transmitter is up here. It's getting a little hot here. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off because I don't want to burn anything out. And that's good practice for any kind of FPV equipment. Go ahead and don't leave it running and just sitting there for a while. You really want to be flying the thing while it's on, just so you don't burn out any components or overheat them. So anyway, cool guys, that was a little initial unbox. The only thing left here is the instruction manual, and this is going to show us how to control everything, what everything's all about, how to fly the thing for beginners if you guys don't know how to fly. Of course, here's the controller here. We've got throttle on the left, yaw, pitch and roll sticks, and then we have some trims on the bottom here, just like any other controller. And it looks like this one, they've actually done a good job at making this all English. The first X251 I got was in Chinese, and I had a little bit of a problem figuring out what everything was. This stick up on top is that 3D or regular mode here. And then on this stick here, we have the 6G is up and the 3D mode is on the bottom. So we can do that for different types of flying. Throttle hold, this top switch. So this will just completely cut the propellers for safety reasons. This guy here is going to be your dual rates. So, slow or fast. And you can set all that with this dial and the switch on the other X7 controller for the X251. I was able to set all this up so you can make it really aggressive or really docile, and you can program that into these dual rates. So that's pretty darn awesome that XK is going this route and releasing a craft that's going to really be interesting to beginners as well as more advanced hobbyists. You have that option to adjust these settings. So I think that's a really good step in XK's direction. That's pretty much it for the controller. I'll do a quick little tutorial when I'm flying of how to go through the settings in the flight test portion. So anyway guys, that's it for the unbox, inspection, and setup of the X252. I think I am going to split this video up into 2 videos. I'll have the next video released very soon with the flight test, and that card will pop up here, and I'll also have the link down in the description of when that second flight test video with the pros and cons is done. So don't forget to check that out. And also don't forget, I'll have the link to this guy down in the description of where you can check out the current pricing and the specs on it. It's supposed to be a really good one, so don't miss that flight test. I make sure I do really thorough flight tests on these guys, and I also do a little crash testing just so you guys can see what the durability is like. So make sure you don't miss that next video coming out. Anyway guys, I hope you like this review, and I do a lot of reviews like this, so go ahead and check out the channel. I think you'll like it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.